The people of Kenya. To understand Kenyan history, we need to understand the people of this country. And Kenya has over 42 ethnic groups in number. Each group has a diverse history based on migration, evolution of the group, interaction with other groups over the year, culture, and political, social, and economic setup. Kenyan ethnic groups are also grouped into three major clusters: the Kushites, Nilotes, and the Bantus. Let's start with the Kushites. It was one of the earliest groups that inhabited Kenya. They are reported to have entered present-day Kenya through the northern Kenya from the Red Sea. They seem to have been living in the Ethiopian islands before spreading and settling in Kenya. They were pastoralists, hence they were looking for better pasture for their livestock. They are believed to have occupied most of the grasslands of the Kenyan highland. The Kushites can be subdivided into two: the southern Kushites and the eastern Kushites. The southern Kushites are the Dahalo, also called the Sanye, and the eastern Kushites are the Borana, the Somali, the Gala, the Oromo, and the Burji. The Highland Nilotes are also referred to as the Kalenjin speakers. In the pre-colonial period, Nilotes were mainly pastoralists. Today, most Nilotes have adopted farming, including sectors of the Maasai. It is only Turkana who are mainly pastoralists in Kenya right now. The Luo and Turkana also practice fishing. The Luo do it in Lake Victoria, while the Turkana in Lake Turkana. Let's go to the Bantu. They contribute to the largest language group in Africa. They originated from Congo Basin. It refers to the people who speak Bantu languages, and it was coined from Umuntu. The plural is Abantu. In reference to a person, like Mtu, the term, the prefix to. They are divided into two: the Western Bantus, the Eastern Bantus. So the Western Bantus are the Abakuria, Bagusi, Abaluya, and the Abasba. The Eastern Kushites are divided into two: the Coastal Bantus and the Central Kenya Bantus. The coastal Bantus include the Taita, the Pokomo, the Mijikenda. The Mijikenda are divided into nine: the Giriama, Digo, Duruma, the Chonyi, the Kambe, and the Kauma, Jibana, Ribe, and Rabai. The central Kenya Bantu are the Agikuyu, the Ayembu, the Agriama, the Akamba, and the Ameru. So now that the Bantu groups form the largest group of the Kenyan population, since the pre-colonial period, it is true that the Bantu groups are basically mixed farmers. They cultivate the land and keep animals as well. They also traded amongst themselves with other Kenyan groups, and it is difficult to generalize the Bantu culture. And these are the migration patterns and settlements of the ethnic groups. Let's go to topic 2, pre-colonial Kenya. There were three main ethnic groups during the pre-colonial Kenya, pre-colonial period, as I say, the Kushites, the Nilotes, and the Bantus. The Kushites migrated from northern Africa to East Africa around the 2000 BC and were the earliest group to settle in Kenya. The Rift Kushites were hunters and gatherers, while the Northeast Kushites were herders and pastoralists dealing with agricultural livestock. The Nilotes emerged from Nile Valley. They were Highland Nilotes, Plain Nilotes, and the Rivulet Nilotes. Now, the Plain Nilotes dominated western and northern Kenya, while the Rivulet Nilotes were pastoralists living in near Lake Turkana, where they also did a lot of fishing. Today, most Rivulet Nilotes are pastoralists. The Bantu. They migrated to west, central, and eastern Kenya during the peak of the Bantu migration in 1000 BC and were the largest group in Kenya. Bantu were mostly mixed farmers. They cultivate, raised animals, trade among themselves and others for a living. Although they were classified as a group, the Bantu were so diverse that they have 16 different dialects. Other than the three major groups, the Bantu, the Nilotes, and the Kushites, there was the Swahili, which consisted of the Persian and the Arabian traders and immigrants. Now let's look at the leadership, religion, way of life of the pre-colonial Kenya. So ancient Kenya was inhabited by a variety of groups that none established themselves as a kingdom. Each group had government represented by groups of leaders but possessed no specific centralized government. Although pre-colonial Kenya did not have any kingdom or great rulers, a kingdom was established in the 18th century called the Wanga Kingdom. Now, the Wanga had a centralized system with a king as a leader whom they called Nabongo religion. So the predominant religion in Kenya today is Christianity. However, the ancient people believe in spirits of the dead ancestors and that they will bring them good luck. They offered sacrifices and poured libation to the ancestors and gods. Islam was introduced through merchants and immigrants during the 1st to the 5th century, and by the 8th century, some grouped rulers accepted Islam. Now, today, Islam is second-ranked religion in Kenya, the way of life. Now, agriculture was a main source of income in ancient Kenya. Livestock played a huge role in Kenyan history. The livestock were used for investment, symbol of prestige and wealth, medium of exchange, dowry payment, and agricultural work. Furthermore, they were used for performing rituals and sacrifices. Little is known about the ancient Kenya's technology advances, except that they were good at cultivation. Many countries came to Kenya coast for trade, especially for gold, ivory, tortoise shell, or even slaves.